Pokemon Black and White are the best Pokemon games by far. Is what I would say if Pokemon Smile didn't exist, baby! Black and White were released in 2010 on the Nintendo DS, the same system as Diamond and Pearl, when, let me stress, is an improvement. These games are very similar to Super Paper Mario, where some people see it as the best game, absolutely perfect, shut up, or the worst, or at least one of the worst. Now some people would claim that Heart Gold or Black 2 are the best, and of course me saying that this game is obviously the best is an opinion, and you're allowed to think otherwise. Or at least that's what I would say if I were a little bitch. This is fact, people, this is fact. No, you can think what you want. With me saying this is the peak of Pokemon, that implies that the series was built up to here and then fell, which I don't think is true. No, absolutely I think it's true. Modern Pokemon just doesn't feel the same, and one reason are the visuals. Not saying that they're bad, I think, just that they don't have the same care put into them as they used to. This franchise just fits better in 2D, and a prime example of that is Black and White's visuals, being that every single Pokemon is animated with this gorgeous sprite animation. Oh, this idle stance not doing anything for ya? Well, how about this? Oh yeah! Whether it be Oshawott throwing a shell, Timber doing the same thing with a fucking plank of wood, or Emolga resting on the ground, all Pokemon actually do things while fighting. Let me mention again that this was the same system as this. This game pushed the DS to its limits. Sure, you had to sacrifice Pokemon following you, but come on, this is way better. Okay, maybe you don't see my point. You think that these are just okay. Alright, well, take a look at what I like to call my boy Excadrill. What's going on? You got somewhere to be? I know it's so original shitting on 3D Pokemon models, but my god, it shows how far above Gen 5 went. Who cares what they were doing when they look ugly? This gen is infamous for its quote-unquote bad designs. Some people say they reused Gen 1 ideas, some say they look like Digimon. It's hey, what are you doing to my boy? It's just a pile of trash, what do you mean? Hey, you know what? He's got a heart too. My dumpster was behind the hospital. As for the argument of the designs are just trash or ice cream or bear, I can see where you're coming from. But alternatively... Okay, look at these two. You genuinely tell me that this pile of garbage looks worse than literal shit. Speaking of muck, some people say that Gen 5 Pokemon are just recycled Gen 1 Pokemon. And that is true. It's true. I can't deny. But god, they're so much better. I like Roggenrola way better than Geodude, Audino way better than Chansey, until it's the only Gen 5 Pokemon to get a Mega. Like, come on, really, Audino? And the remaining designs are great. Another thing people didn't like about the Pokemon is how you can only use new ones instead of being able to use old ones, which is probably why some Pokemon reflect Gen 1 mons. And I love this decision. This way you're forced to use new Pokemon instead of relying on the same ones you've been using forever. And I get it if you feel restricted by this and you just want to use a Pikachu, but come on, this is such a cool idea. And at least you're still able to catch them after the game. Plus it kinda makes sense as this is the first region not to be based on Japan in any way. Big ups to the US. But the thing people hold to this game the most is the story. Usually stories are pretty good in this series, by Pokemon standards. But Black and White broke the mold by being a decent story by normal game standards. It's nothing crazy, but the little changes and details make all the difference. Like how the characters actually have arcs. No, we do not count Hop in this house. Bianca starts off as someone very excited to start a journey that even when her father doesn't allow it, she leaves anyways. But eventually learns that she wasn't in it for the battling, more of the Pokemon experience as a whole. So she becomes the professor's assistant. Wow, Hop just stole this entire arc, didn't he? Sharon starts with, I'll be the champion, fight you! But he has such a high standard for the champion that when he meets the real champion, Alder, he criticizes him for not taking it seriously. This arc really doesn't pan out till the sequels where he becomes a gym leader. Speaking of Alder, people don't really give this character enough credit. He's been the champion so long he doesn't care anymore, conflicting with Sharon's ideas of a champion must go sicko mode at all times. It would be lame if he was the champion in your final battle, but, like, he's not, and I'll get to that in a second. But, like, people idolize Cynthia because he shows up every once in a while and has a hard fight at the end. This may be my distaste for Gen 4, but I don't get why people like Cynthia and the other champions so much. But some characters that got a huge makeover are the gym leaders. Oh my god, I love these gym leaders. Reason I love the gym leaders in Black and White number 1. They're actually characters. Sure, they don't all land, but they are all characters who show up outside the gym and they actually have roles outside of it, like Elisa being a model and Skyla being a pilot. You could say Sword and Shield had the gym leaders show up outside the gym, and if you walk up to them and say do your job as a character interaction, then I don't know what to tell you. I know we're about to get a twofer on Sword and Shield, but like listen to the contrast in the dialogue. Here's Clay from Black and White. So you're the trainers Elisa was talking about. I'm Clay, the gym leader around these parts. Don't be expecting no welcome now. And here's Nessa from Sword and Shield.
You must be a new gym challenger, right? You're one of the ones endorsed by Leon, right? You've become something of a hot topic among the gym leaders.
But the story needs conflict, baby, and that's where the evil team comes in. Team Solid? No, that's not it. Team Liquid. Team Gas? What other states that matter are there? Team Plasma is easily the second best evil team. Because, like, come on. One problem I have with evil teams in this series is that they have really stupid plans. Like, Team Galactic wants to restart the universe for literally no reason. Plasma actually has a grounded plan that works really well for them. They're trying to free all the Pokemon from humans because they see Pokemon as abused or misused. And, who you learn is the leader, even uses different Pokemon every time you battle him. Now, if they were, like, forcing people to do this, it would kind of ruin it. But they aren't. The first time you see them is in a town plaza, and they're giving a speech trying to convince people to give up their Pokemon. You can see where they're...
Baby, man.
You can see where they're coming from. They have the right intentions and are going about it in a good way. Then they're shown abusing a random Uno. Are you fucking kidding me? And anytime it's just you and them, they act like assholes to all Pokemon and abuse them. Like, come on. Honestly, this ruins what was set up as great and just blends them in with the other evil teams. Who's running this operation anyway? En, who's the king of Team Plasma, was raised by Pokemon in his youth, then found by Getsis, the second hand or whatever. He's basically a third rival. You fight him multiple times throughout the game, and here's something that automatically puts this above every other Pokemon game. Your trainer wants to be the champion, because they want to be the champion. And that's it. Never gets better. How interesting. In this game, you still kind of have that motive, but on top of that, you have En. He says he will also fight to be the champion, and once he has that power and influence, he'll start a YouTube channel. He will further convince others to release Pokemon. Not only does this give you another reason to want to be champion, but also an urge to get there before En. This also puts pressure on Alder, who now sees a threat and tries to get involved again. You see how these characters bounce off each other? Compare this to Sword... Okay, you know what? I shouldn't have given enough. How about X and Y? You have 4 rivals who don't develop at all throughout the game, and a villain who is supposed to be a twist villain. Ooh. But he's dressed like the evil team and says stuff like,
"If only I could wipe away the impurities."
Is anybody else listening?
Speaking of villains, the other leader of Team Plasma, Getsis. Why? It turns out that Getsis is really trying to release Pokemon so he can take over the world. Are you... It's not that bad. At least Getsis is easily the most maniacal villain in the series. He manipulates En and then shames him once he loses. His Hydreigon has max power Frustration, which is a move that gets more powerful the more the user hates its trainer. He tries to kill you in Black and White too. Let me say again, tries to kill you. He physically attacks Lily in Ultra Sun Ultra Moon, giving that game the smallest iota of a purpose. And even in that game, he's pretty much elevated above the rest, like he's before Shithead, who no one cares about. And although this twist kinda sucks, at least it works well in the sequel. Now Team Plasma is split between Plasma members that follow En and Plasma members that follow Getsis. I just wish it wasn't take over the world. So much about Team Plasma could be great, but they fall to generic evil stuff. Whatever, at least they're better than every evil team by far. Except Team Skull. Pokemon Ruby, Diamond, X, Sun, Sword. One thing all these games have in common is not knowing how to end. After chasing the maniac leader of an evil organization, they summon an extremely powerful beast, one only known in legends. They rampage or cause damage in some form. Sure, some do things differently, like Moon, but still, you fight these gods and defeat the rulers, finally saving the world and defeating the evil once and for all. Okay, now you go fight the champion. It's so dumb, fighting a friendly nobody forced into the story because they are the champion. I feel nothing. I feel more from Alder as a champion, you don't even fight him. This game does something absolutely amazing. Legendary? Already caught by En. Alder? Fell to En. You couldn't make it in time. But like, you could just beat him again, so I don't know what the— Oh god! Smash Bros? Yeah, so Team Plasma got this big old castle rising out of the ground. Compare this to Steven. You know, he's cool, I guess. Rocks. You meet with the kind of mediocre part of Team Plasma, the 7 Sages. You just kind of exist. They have a cool post-game thing, though. But 6-on-1? How will we ever be able to... Oh, hell yeah. Reason I love Black and White's gym leader is number 2. They actually have an involvement in the story, and a badass one at that. Except these 3, I guess. So you enter the castle, and I kind of wish there was more to do in here, but... God, you know what I'm gonna compare it to.
And this is it. Finally, a true dungeon. I will fight his lackeys and solve puzzles to make my way to the center of— Oh, come on!
Once you reach N, the legendary egg you took, which happened early in the story, don't worry about it, releases the opposite Pokemon that N has, you know, the one on the box, and challenges you to try and catch it. So you catch it and challenge N to a final battle. Let's set the scene really quick. You are at the top of a castle, fighting a rival you had since the beginning. You both have legendary beasts who are the physical representation of opposing ideals, reflecting your own ideals. On top of that, N is a likable villain. He isn't even really a villain. His plan is to free all Pokemon, and it's not like a bad plan. It's not evil. He's just doing what he believes in. It's not just good or bad. Hero and villain. Black and... Oh my god. Compare this to Diantha. You meet her twice. She has no personality or involvement in the story. Then you fight. Yeah, then Getsus says he wants to take over the world, which is lame, but I already explained why he's better than every other villain in the series. Besides Chairman Rose, of course, I love that little bugger. That was a fib. I was telling a joke. I lie a bit. Then N, being shown his father as a massive dickwad, reflects on his ideals and who he is as a person. He calls you a great trainer, and unlike some other games, it actually feels earned. Then he leaves, and credits roll. Not only is the story great by Pokemon standards, but by game standards. And not just story, everything. Graphics, content, much better than Sword and Shield's $60 games. You fool! You think this video was about black and white? No! This was just another excuse for me to shit on Sword and Shield again. You've been hoodwinked! Now, Pokemon Black and White isn't my favorite game of all time, or not even close for that matter. It has problems, of course, but like, what game doesn't? I actually wanted to play the game again for this video, but I started a Professor Oak challenge about half a year ago, and if you don't know what that is, I'll describe it in one word. Hell. But compared to every other Pokemon game, it's not even close. Content? Don't make me laugh. The closest we got was in Gen 2, where we got Kanto again. Oh wow, cool, great, I can't wait. Also, I want to go on a bit of a tangent here, if you don't mind. Fun fact! Game Freak was so incompetent when making Gold and Silver, they were running out of room on the cartridge. So they called Nintendo for help, you know, hey guys, we're almost done with this game. We can't finish it. Can you send someone to help us clear some space? So our boy sent down the hero, the legend, God rest his soul, Satoru Iwata. And he cleared so much wasted space, they could fit the entirety of Kanto in there. So if you're shocked that Game Freak is fumbling Pokemon so hard, that's why, baby. Tangent over. Yeah, the 2D aesthetic compared to 3D looks better. But even compared to the other 2D games, no contest. Story? Easily the deepest, most interesting plot with funny, unique characters. So good that the stupid new version was actually a sequel. And you might ask, well, why isn't that one the best? And honestly, I don't know. I just like the OG better. I still love the sequels, but something about the original, I don't know. Then Pokemon got 3D, and slowly but surely got worse and worse. X and Y, I thought Sun and Moon was alright, but Ultra Sun and Moon? And you don't need me to tell you about the other one? Also, the scummy decisions made by the Pokemon Company. Sure, releasing the same game twice was already pretty bad, but taking features out of the game like the GTS and Multi-Battle and selling them back through DLC or Pokemon Home? It's just kinda rough. Maybe that's why Black and White is my favorite. Not only because of everything else I said, but it represented a time where Pokemon at least seemed to care. The games had content, personality, and extra games actually did something. I love Pokemon a lot. I grew up with it, but seeing the way it's going, I can't justify buying Gen 9 unless they make major differences. Sure, the Arceus thing is cool, as long as they fix that frame rate, Jesus. And I'm praying that Game Freak will shape up and make a passable Pokemon game again. But until then, I think I'll just stick with Gen 5. Also, the music is really good.